Hey y'all, I'm Sarah Wall in the Fox 10 Newsroom. Thanks so much for joining us today as we go in depth. And today we're taking a look at some new reports that have been coming out, and it's no surprise to us whatsoever, but our Gulf Coast beaches are getting rave reviews. We are in these top rankings. There are some rankings that have been done by magazines. There are some Reader's Choice rankings that have come out showing that our local beaches are up there with the best of the best. And we already knew that, right? While these rankings are coming out, we're also gearing up for a big spring break season. So we're going to take a look at the rankings and what you can expect if you're heading to the beach for spring break. So let's get things started today, talking a little bit about what we are seeing with these new reports that have come out. So Condé Nast does a Reader's Choice Awards, and for 2025, they listed 3 of our local Gulf Coast beaches in their Reader's Choice Awards. So these Reader's Choice Awards consist basically of other people, other travelers going to the beach or going to different places and looking at ranking them based on hotels, resorts, cruises, spas, the friendliest cities, the foodiest, right? All those different kinds of things weighing in. And they did come up with a short list of beaches in the U.S. And they actually had a whopping 757,000 people plus responding to these surveys that they put out. So let's take a look at the Condé Nast survey and the Condé Nast report. So this is actually the Condé Nast website, and you can see that they do this Reader's Choice Awards. And I brought up the big picture of it all too, because I wanted you to see that they do awards based, hotels, resorts, cruise lines, cities, airlines, trains, luggage, countries, all of these things, right? So they're ranking everything that has to do with travel. So you can kind of scroll down and see resorts and winners and cruise lines and the whole bit, right? Lots of pretty pictures to see too. If you are interested in doing any travel, there could be some ideas here. But this is the one that we are interested in today. This is the best beaches in the U.S. according to the Reader's Choice Awards. And they literally say right here, y'all, from Alabama to Hawaii, these are your favorite beaches in the U.S. for some fun in the sun. This came out in December, so it looked at, people's responses for the year of 2025. So the different rankings in here go all across the country. And again, they did look at what makes these the best beaches in the United States. So they look at different things. They look at how friendly the city was. They look at, what kind of food is available, different things to do, what the beaches actually look like, where you can stay. Is it family friendly? Is it a romantic beach? All these different kinds of things came into play when they did the ranking. So let's scroll down through here and take a look at where we land. So we've got some California beaches here. We have St. Augustine Beach, Arizona, the Lake Havasu Beach in Arizona. There is a lake in Arizona, so there's that. South Carolina, and we've got Texas, and then take a look at this. Number 10 is Orange Beach, Alabama, and then their little write-up says, repping Alabama's colorful Gulf Coast, Orange Beach cracks into the top 10, loaded with plenty of beach town charm. Epic water sports are the name of the game here. Whether you're itching to hang 10, rip across the waves on a jet ski, or leisurely paddleboard while working on your tan. Outside of the beach itself, history buffs can get their fill of local lore. They also have different things like if you want to go shopping, you also can, if you're a hiker, you can go walking on the backcountry trail and through Gulf State Park's beaches and nearby Gulf shores. And they talk about the fact that we have the wharf in Orange Beach as well, which is something that obviously has lots of events and concerts and different things going on there that helped Orange Beach come in at number 10. We're going to slide down a little bit further here and we can see U.S. Virgin Islands, Siesta Beach in Florida, Hawaii again, and then take a look at number 2, Navarre Beach in Florida. This talks about with scuba diving and artificial reefs and things. That is one of the reasons that this was voted as one of the top destinations for beaches. And then y'all check out number 1, Pensacola Beach. Pensacola Beach ranked number 1 on the Condé Nast Reader's Choice Awards for 2025 when it came to beaches in the United States, which is fantastic. I mean, these are things we already know. We know our beaches are amazing. We know that people love to come here, and we know that we love to go to our beaches as well. It also means when this kind of gets out there like this, word of mouth gets out there, it means that we may see more people coming to our local beaches. But the write-up on Pensacola Beach, it's the top spot on the list. They talk about how it's more than a beach. The white sands, of course, the water that you can see your feet, but they also talking about a thriving arts and culture scene with this so-called Festival City of the South. It has a fully booked dance card of cultural programming. There's the Mural Fest, the Great Gulf Coast Arts Festival, and the Pensacola Foo Festival. They talk about regional artistic talent and all kinds of nightlife, plus good food. So that lands Pensacola Beach at the #1 spot, according to the Condé Nast Reader's Choice Awards for 2025. That is very exciting, but we are not finished yet. We also took a look at a new survey or new rankings that came out in 2025, the best beaches in the U.S. by U.S. News and World Report. So these are not Reader's Choice Awards. Well, they are Reader's Choice Awards because you helped vote, but it's a different one is what I'm trying to say. Condé Nast did one, and now U.S. News did one as well. So we're going to scroll down here because of the U.S. News one. We want to look at number 5 and number 7 to see where we come in. So this starts at number 1. We're looking at Florida, Hawaii, 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 and then look at number 5. Gulf Shores, number 5, best beach in the U.S. They do say that, we may not be known so much for our beaches, which I guess it's the best kept secret, right? Because our beaches are fabulous. I mean, they are among the best you're ever going to see. But they talk about the white sand, and they talk about the warm emerald waters and all of this as well. And the location where you're near Mobile, you're, here on the Gulf Coast. So Gulf Shores comes in at number 5. Destin comes in at number 7 of best beaches in the U.S. So that is pretty exciting when we take a look at what we have to offer here on the Gulf Coast. And when we show some video, we can see, look how crowded this is. This is video from the summertime. And, it's 4th of July at the beach, and, we have lots of people coming for that time of year. We also have a lot of people that come to our local beaches for spring break, of course. And then the Blue Angels are a huge draw when it comes to Pensacola Beach, and they have their homecoming show. And they've got their summer show. So a lot of people come not just for the great beaches, but also for that. There is a third survey that came out, and this has to do with TripAdvisor. And TripAdvisor also ranking what it considers to be the best beaches in the country. And again, we always knew that the Gulf Coast has some of the world's best beaches, but we do have official confirmation with all of these rankings that have been coming out. TripAdvisor has ranked the Florida Panhandle, St. Andrews State Park, and Panama City Beach as some of the best beaches in the United States. St. Andrews State Park came in at 8th place, while Panama City Beach came in at 11th place. And this comes as St. Andrews is celebrating its actual 75th anniversary. These pictures that we're seeing tell the whole story. Our beaches are amazing, right? But just to bring it up so that you can see it, this is TripAdvisor. And TripAdvisor, we can scroll down a little bit here, and it does look at our Gulf Coast beaches, the Panhandle beaches, mixing in here as being among the best beaches in the United States, right? So that's pretty exciting. There's St. Andrews State Park, and we go down a little bit further, and we have Panama City Beach. So Gulf Coast beaches kind of getting recognized for what we already knew, that they are amazing. Now, along with this recognition, and by the way, y'all, I just wanted to show you this. I was just kind of Googling, Gulf Coast beaches and, rankings and all of this, and I ran across this Midwest nomad family, and they're talking about our local beaches. So when we have so much, good PR and good publicity and people sharing, it's interesting to see where things pop up when you are searching them out. But the other thing to remember is that when it comes to, the local beaches, we do have big spring break coming up, and this is the dates that we have spring break, and you can see April 13th through the 17th for a lot of our public schools is going to be a very busy time at our local beaches. But when we also talk about the fact that, like Panama City Beach, for example, was one of those beaches that was ranked number 1, we're ranked in the top, the top rankings here, we're expecting to see some big crowds of people coming, and that is causing some concerns for officials. And with spring break on the horizon, Panama City Beach, for example, like we've been talking about, are continuing continuing to show that they're not going to tolerate beach chaos, especially in the area known as Pineapple Beach. So what's going on here is that there have been problems stemmed from years past when large groups of spring breakers use the private beach boardwalks owned by Pineapple Willie's as a beach access point to gather, and apparently, according to officials, cause problems. So now Panama City Beach is going to be increasing security to stop problems before they start. And we did talk with them and hear what they had to say.
So we have teamed up with the businesses around there. We have blanket trespass warnings from all of those businesses in that area. And that gives us the authority to make sure that if you're using that access, that you have permission.
Right, so they're going to really be cracking down. Private beach access restricted. They're talking about doing some curfews as well. And they also talked about some of those high activity areas where they're going to be increasing police presence and law enforcement presence because they want to make sure that things stay safe. So police announcing that they will be enforcing an 8 p.m. curfew for unaccompanied minors from March 28th through April 11th, okay? That curfew will only be in place in these high impact areas like we just talked about in Panama City Beach. So some crackdowns taking part. And one of the things that's kind of interesting to talk about too, as we are, talking about how our local beaches are being recognized and big crowds are expected, even though we are the locals, some of the stuff could end up impacting us. So for example, Panama City Beach enacting a curfew. It's not actually going to run as long as some of the curfews that we're going to see here a little closer to us here in our section of the Gulf Coast. We do have some curfews that are going into place as well. Also wanted to remind you, as we're talking about some of the things you may run into for spring break, in Gulf Shores, beaches in southern Baldwin County actually are getting ready for spring break, and they're enacting again the alcohol ban. So this is something that's been going on for a while. Gulf Shores has now renewed its alcohol ban on public beaches this year. The ban runs from March 1st through April 28th. It prohibits any possession or consumption of alcohol on public beaches. We did talk about this a little bit when they were considering it, and this has been going on for quite some years. And they say that the alcohol ban, in combination with having extra patrols and extra folks on standby and law enforcement, etc., has really worked out to help this be a family-friendly environment and make this a place that people like to come for spring break. And when you look at their website, they're very, these local beaches are a huge draw. Of course, they're absolutely gorgeous and there's so much to do. So I went ahead and pulled up gulfshores.com, and they talk a little bit about spring break at Alabama's beaches. And you can see they talk about how pretty it is and the different things that you can do in our area or whatever, the different activities and things that are going on, and different festivals where you can eat, et cetera, et cetera. And then also, if we scroll down a little bit further here, you can actually take a look at, is it warm enough to go swimming and all of that as well. And they do break down some of the rules that they have in place for our local beaches. And that is something that is different during spring break than during the regular rest of the time of the year, like summertime or whatever. They always have regulations in place where, you can't have, big sizes of tents and things like that. Pets are not allowed on the beach, no glass or breakable containers. And this time of year, of course, the alcohol ban, no alcoholic beverages, no consumption, no having it, no fishing at Gulf Place, no tobacco or e-cigarettes. These are the different regulations designed to keep the beaches safe and fun for everyone who will be going to them. So different rules and regulations in place where, again, that alcohol ban has been renewed for spring break this year. It runs March 1st through April 28th. If you are going to Pensacola Beach, and they brought up some information here, Pensacola Beach, letting you know a little bit about the different things to do, where you can eat, etc., where you can stay, how you can plan your trip, all these different kinds of things as well. As of now, Pensacola Beach does not have an alcohol ban in place for spring break going forward. If anything changes, of course, we will let you know. There is another, we talk about curfews, and some other areas have implemented curfews, and Seaside, Florida is actually enforcing a 7 o'clock curfew for unaccompanied minors under the age of 18 without parental supervision from March 1st through April 19th, 2026, so this year. The curfew is part of a community-wide effort to ensure a safe and family-friendly environment during spring break. Parents and guardians, you're encouraged to accompany your children and teenagers during their visit. The curfew, again, aims at making a calm and enjoyable atmosphere for families, residents, and visitors. So Seaside, Florida, a very popular spring break destination on 30A, and they are putting out some information so that you know if you're going there and you're taking, your students, your middle schoolers, your high schoolers with you, that there will be a curfew in place March 1st through April 19th in order to create that more family-friendly environment. And of course, I've got a live look here at how things are looking locally, and we can see it's absolutely beautiful. We got some clouds out there today, but that doesn't mean that we aren't going to see an absolutely gorgeous day at the beach. Doesn't really matter if there are any clouds out there, right? We can handle that when it comes to going to the beach. And a lot of people realizing that, y'all, because we have been recognized. Condé Nast Reader's Choice Awards for 2025. Orange Beach, the 10th most popular beach. Number 2 is Navarre Beach, and number 1 is Pensacola Beach. So, we've got beaches that people are loving and people are going to and people are recognizing. U.S. News is 27 best beaches in the U.S. Number 5 is Gulf Shores, and number 7 is Destin. So with this recognition, we're expecting to see lots and lots of people making their way to our area beaches, especially as we get ready for spring break, and spring break dates right around the corner. This doesn't take into consideration colleges and universities in Alabama, across the South, and those are actually earlier than these. So we should be seeing a great number of people coming our way as we head into the spring break season. But just keep in mind, if you are going to be at the beach during this spring break season, essentially if you're going to be at the beach starting, at the beginning of March and working through the end of April, there are some different regulations in place to try to keep it a family-friendly and safe environment. And y'all, you may share the beach with some extra people this year, because word is out, our secret is out, best kept secret, or least best kept secret, that our local beaches are absolutely amazing, drawing big crowds for all of these kinds of holidays and times for families to get away and enjoy a vacation at the beach. But fun to be recognized for something that we already knew. I guess now we can say it's official again in the new rankings that have just come out for the 2025 year.